portion that extends underneath M59. We're now on the south side of the Riverwalk, entering the underpass of M59 adjacent to the Clinton River. This portion of the Riverwalk was constructed as part of a transportation enhancement grant. I don't have the exact date on that. We can work that into our commentary here shortly. But as we start to move forward here, you'll see that a lot of damage has been done recently over the last several years. And graffiti is rampant on the walkway itself, as well as the bridge abutment.
Yeah, actually it's been about just about a week ago. Larry contacted MDOT. They came here, did some cleanup, power washing, and painting, which we'll show you. And it's already been re-tagged by vandals and such. We are using, the police department's going to use part of a grant to put a camera under here, and we're working with MDOT, try to locate or try to secure some lighting along with DTE. And that's about the extent of what we can do with the funding that we have. Township had funding from the millage from 78 to 88. It stopped, was not renewed by the voters, was not put back on the ballot to be renewed. So the funds that exist are just those that have been kind of held in escrow, so to speak. So there's no large commitment from the township or reoccurring revenues that have been put into the system. I'm just trying to do what we can with the limited resources that we have. So right now this spot serves as kind of a termination point. It's a little dark at night, gets hit by vandals, and we're going to walk forward and Larry's going to talk about what we'd like to do as far as like with the connection, you know, to really get this area utilized. Senior citizens and folks traveling, you know, give them a better way to get over to the commercial side to do shopping and such. So we'll just continue on here.
M59 Highland Road, and you can see some of the areas that have just recently been cleaned up and then now tagged within the last week.
This doesn't look too bad. It's recently been painted maybe about a week ago. Prior to that, it was completely ridden with graffiti, but we already have graffiti artists back at it. See if I can't turn my light on here a little bit. Yeah, already, you know, vulgar words and stuff like that.
So now as we start to move forward toward the north end of here we are at the north end, and this is where our funding ended. We weren't able to secure enough funding to do the required barrier-free ramping system on the north side up to, for a landmark, I'll use Boston Market, and that bike path that runs adjacent to Highland Road. This is going to be a complicated ramping system in the fact that we have to do a switchback system to meet barrier-free requirements for ADA access, wheelchair access, if you will. And we're right against the bridge abutment here, and as Derek will pan over, you'll be able to see the river as it works itself back up very close to M59 in this area, and it's called a backwater area where the river, once it meets a choking point, starts to wash back and create a backwater area. So to your right, as you look at this film, into the wooded area, there's a backwater. We'll try to get a better picture of that, but that is problematic in the sense we have to use pilings and some sort of a retaining wall system to anchor the rampway system as it's designed up to meet the existing bike path that runs along the north side of M59.
I think Doug threw out a number, maybe just a rough budget number around $100,000 in engineering, design, some construction, to, like Larry said, to do the maybe some pilings, a lot of earthwork, that kind of work.
Yeah, and also, Derek, we can add that Doug did go so far as to create the plan work, construction plan work for the ramping system, and really now it's at a stage where we would need to go out to bid for this type of a project and then secure the required permits from MDOT, Michigan Department of Transportation, to do it within their road right-of-way, because this is actually within the M59 road right-of-way area.
You can see, even though it's not a formal path, I mean, there's a desire, I think, by the community. There's a beaten down, you know, like foot trail, goat path kind of a thing, if you will. So I think it would be utilized. It would make for a nice addition to Waterford Township, connect the river system up and get more constant foot and maybe bike travel, and definitely an accessibility issue for handicapped people, senior citizens, stuff of that nature.
I would also add, Derek, that after we completed the underpass that we just walked, we did receive numerous calls from the residents from the senior housing facility adjacent to Waterford Town Center, and their desire to have this ramp system installed so they could have provided for them a safer crossing or an underpass under M59 to get to the shopping areas on the north side.
Just to kind of drive home now too, as it exists currently without the connection point here underneath the M59 bridge, the elderly, retirement community, they have to cross, if they're crossing by foot or scooter or wheelchair or whatnot, they have to go down by the traffic light at Crescent and M59. As you can see, with all the traffic here, it'd be much safer to have them going underneath the bridge, coming right here to the nice pathway.
The north section of the Riverwalk, which extends about 1,000 feet north of M59, these improvements are already in the ground. This was made possible by an agreement and a partnership, if you will, with township businessman Dr. Stephen Rapp, who owns the former Prescription Fitness building and the medical center that's newly operational to the rear. Maybe get a shot of that as we move forward, but as you can see, this is a nice paved asphalt pathway, approximately 8 feet in width, and it will extend to Dr. Rapp's property along the border of the Clinton River, and then cross over to the Waterford Shopping Center Plaza, which is on the east side of the river.
So another struggle that we have on the walkway system is, as Larry mentioned, very important on the capital projects that are needed to make it connected, to tie the community together, to get the commerce flowing, the people moving. That's a positive. That's one aspect. But like all the DPW guys always tell you, what's it cost to run it every year? We need ongoing dollars to do routine maintenance. We really don't have a secure source of funding to do that. Probably, I was talking to DPW Director Fritz, and the best way to do that would be to have a company, do an RFP, have a company come in every year, maybe every second or third year, depending on how it goes, and do, just do some clearing for us, because before long, Mother Nature takes over. As you can see right here, you get just encroachment of vegetation. So maybe, Larry mentioned we had a 20-foot easement on either side, so have them take out 3 feet on each side and just take it down to grade, brush hog it out, take the saplings out, and just weed zap it and just clear it all out real nice.
Yeah, the easements that we have secured for this project are typically 20 feet in width total, and that allows the township to come in and do any repair work that's necessary. But that was standard language that we used in the easement documents as we started to secure them. But as we walk forward here, we'll show you the bridge that was installed as part of this northerly project. This bridge was used as part of the matching funds required for the Department of Natural Resources Community or Clean Michigan Initiative grant that we secured in the early 2000s for this northerly section. And so, to recap, Parks and Rec partnered with the property owners that are adjacent to this area and Waterford Township to help secure the grant monies for this northerly section.
So just to kind of recap again, since maybe the late 1980s when the millage was halted, it's been grant funding, public-private partnerships, a lot of just hard work, by people trying to do everything they can, but we're still falling a little bit short and need a constant revenue stream the system was without one currently.
And I'm sure the board is aware of a number of communities in our region here that have water bodies or tributaries running through their communities, and how they've taken advantage of that natural resource to make it a community asset. The Paint Creek Trail comes to mind that runs through downtown Rochester in that area. And if you have occasion to make a trip over there on a weekend, on a nice day, park at the library, park downtown, get on the Paint Creek Trail and walk it, you'll see numerous people taking advantage of this. And I think it will only add to creating the synergy that we need for the Waterford Town Center area and Waterford Township as a community to attract people with this type of an amenity.
It's another example of really need to get a company in here every year or so and just do some cutbacks, just some clearing, get a brush hog in here, chainsaw, just getting busy. That's what happens when you don't have a lot of people sometimes, or if it's not well lit at night, monitored. People will throw garbage, which is a shame. So just something that we need to address as well. Maybe lighting, maybe some security, and getting just a higher foot and bike traffic. I think you have less of that apt to happen as well.
We're now walking on that portion of the Riverwalk that extends behind the Mount Zion Church property, the former tennis courts. You're familiar with it as the Van Hoody's Farm Market that sells fruits and vegetables off Crescent Lake Road. Mount Zion worked with the township to provide this easement, and as you can see and Derek has stated, it's overgrown and needs to be cut back for safety purposes. So now you can see that the pathway is coming out of the rear of the Slade property near the Clinton River, approaching Crescent Lake Road, and that would allow us to connect to the existing sidewalk system and continue north to Tubbs Road. That system, of course, is already in the ground in place. Then the township had secured easements through the Community Church of Christ property on the east side of Crescent Lake Road at Tubbs for an easement to connect to the formerly Tubbs Road right-of-way that would have extended further east to the Drayton Plains Nature Center, which is our ultimate goal, to have that connection.
Yeah, here's this is right next to Buffalo Wild Wings too, if you need a kind of a reference point. But this is Waterford Township's largest sewer pumping station, Clinton River. So what the DPW is willing to do too is change out some of their lighting there to try to help out the Riverwalk system here, as well as add a high definition camera and send that signal over to the police department. So trying to get cooperation wherever we can get across departments, with developers, with community members, state grants, but the reoccurring revenue stream is really what's needed to get this to the next level.
Here we have a shot of Buffalo Wild Wings in the background, but what I want you to notice is that during the development of the commercial portion and residential portion for the Waterford Town Center, Regency Realty, the original developer, provided park benches and decorative lighting for security purposes along the southerly path of the Riverwalk adjacent to the river as part of the town center development. Here, Derek is focusing in on an area that was set aside for an amphitheater, small amphitheater for different types of special activities or events that Waterford Township or the school district wanted to institute. This was a recommendation by Tom Wiseman and the school district to provide this type of an amenity as just another area where people could come down and hold a special event, a party, or do something in combination with one of our natural features in Waterford. Here we are at the very southerly end of the existing Riverwalk path system. To your left of your screen you can see a portion of Riverside Elementary and their playground area, but the path actually ends at this property line adjacent to the Clinton River. Again, I'd like to emphasize that this wouldn't have been possible without the partnership with the Waterford School District and Waterford Township and the developer for the Regency or for the town center, Regency Realty, to be able to put this in the ground. And we continue to value our partnerships with the Waterford School District. They've been very supportive, and many of the things that we wanted to do in the community.